G'day, guys. Welcome to the Draft Route podcast. My name's Adrian, your host. To my left here is Sam, our NFL expert. And behind the camera is Jack, who is making all of this work. He's organised the mics. They're all plugged in, ready to go. So hopefully this is recording. The Draft Route came about, I would say, a year or two ago. We sort of talked about doing something NFL related. And then behind that, Sam, the NFL expert, um, sort of taught me the game. And then a couple of years ago, I joined a dynasty league. So we had to pick rookies and, I had to pick wide receivers, tight ends, and just go through. And then it was hard not knowing any players. So I found out that Sam makes notes on multiple rookies. And when I say multiple rookies or, college prospects, I'm talking hundreds of them. And he gave me these notes and I read through them and I learned about players and I learned about the game. And I said, like, we got to do something with this. So here we are. A couple of years later.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. And so, yeah, I guess if you want to give us a brief intro about you, Sam, the NFL
You
expert.
can have all the intro you want. Yeah, look, this is my passion, my hobby. The understanding of how teams are built, programs, potential prospects. It's all something that kind of really gets me going. So the idea of all these notes was honestly at first just to understand football myself, but then it got into a bit of an addiction, and I've just loved it ever since. So I'm sure AD will tell you a bit of a story, but I was laying in bed very late one night. My lovely wife was kind of like, "Who are you messaging essays at midnight?" And I was like, "Babe, these are notes on 21-year-old boys." So that was a bit of a moment, but no, it's hopefully comes full circle, and we can now give it all the information out to you guys in the public.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing is that we want to teach the game a bit and about the lesser known players as well and a bit of the roster building side of things in Australia. I think the game is big here, but it's growing and it's, we've got the game at the MCG later this year. And we just thought, I reckon a lot of Aussies would like to hear what, especially this guy has to think, because I've known Sam now for 13 years ish.
13 years, I rocked up on your doorstep.
Yeah. So Sam is married to my cousin Ali, and Jack, her brother, is the one making this all tick. And yeah, I guess I went from knowing a little bit about the game, not really watching it, to becoming obsessed with it, loving it, doing fantasy, supporting our
I
Saints.
dragged him under.
Yeah, did. And I thought if someone can explain this game and players and the intricacies around it to others, I think that's worth hearing. And this man needs to be heard because it'll blow your mind a bit how much he knows. And yeah, so I guess from here we'll get into the draft a bit. I think today we'll just recap the draft a little bit, go through some likes, dislikes, favorite picks, favorite teams, things like that. And then, yeah, so I guess to start off, what do you reckon about the draft as a whole? Like, was it,
Yeah,
yeah,
the draft itself, it's one of those ones when they're not quarterback heavy, they're let's not say they're boring, but they're not seen as exciting drafts. Obviously, quarterbacks bring crowds, quarterbacks bring involvement and excitement. But this is your kind of your fruit and veg draft. This is where you build depth. This is where you build a full roster. The defensive talent this year was very high and very good at times and deep, really deep. The offensive talent, there's players there. There's some really good high end, but there's probably a couple that sat in maybe the top 10, top 15 range, and then it probably dropped off a little bit, and we saw that depth then break out again in the third round. I think there was somewhere between 13 and 17 wide receivers taken in round 3 alone. So then obviously the running back talent pool was really small compared to especially last year where there was I think there was 34 taken into the 25, and then this year we only had one go off in the third. We had two go off in the first round, one in the third round, and then we had a few go off in the later rounds. But yeah, you could tell that the talent pool at running back and wide receiver and quarterback wasn't quite there. So for a lot of fantasy people, that excitement drops off a bit. In saying that, though, the tight end pool was really good. The tight end depth was really good. It wasn't. Look, we didn't have Colson Loveland and Tyler Warren in this draft, but Killian Zadeek's a freak.
Alien.
Yeah, that's fair way. He's an alien. He's an alien. He tested as an alien, and then his running partner, Eli Stowers, as well. He's just as freaky kind of thing.
So from what I was reading, maybe a couple of years ago, they're like, it was this big quarterback draft. You've got Nussmeier, you've got Drew Aller, you've got all these guys that maybe 2 years out were, it was the next big draft. There were going to be multiple first-round picks. Everyone was excited about it. But then it sort of fell away. Did they go down in everyone's books in their last year of college, or how did that sort of work?
It's a hard spot, right? Like the eligibility thing makes it kind of hard to tell. Yes, we've got Arch. Yes, we've got Dante Moore. These are players that could have come out, chose to go to school, right? There's more and more players kind of staying in school. Obviously, we've got money now in college football. You can stay in there and make just millions as long as you're not a top 10, top 15 pick. Yeah. There's money to be had. Like the Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller, these kind of guys are taking like $3, $4, $5 million hits to their bank account this year after getting drafted, which is a crazy story. But for them, they may as well stay in college. Look, I think Garrett Nussmeier, who we might talk about a bit later as well, he, for me, was a really good prospect, but he was injured. He really was injured. He didn't have a great year, and he fell. He's landed in Kansas City, which could be the best thing for him. The fact that they can let him develop, he might play some football when Mahomes is injured, depending what they think of Fields, but there's enough potential there to build, and I'd probably say he'll be a backup for a few years and then be used as a trade asset.
Oh, yeah. I think you covered it well before with defensively strong. I like defensive players. I have a Demario Davis top on, and unfortunately, he's now at the Jets.
Yeah,
but Marshawn Lattimore,
him, I should say. It's not unfortunate.
And Marshawn Lattimore is my favorite player.
Stop buying jerseys.
No,
keep leaving your Saints.
So I think we'll go to favorite picks. I want to just quickly talk about mine, and I didn't obviously review as much tape as you, but I reviewed one guy.
What, you didn't watch 200 players?
I did look at a guy called Caleb Downs, and I was pretty sold on the Saints trying to get him. Again, that sort of unicorn player a bit where could do it all on defense, and I think we needed that a little bit. But then, not saying that I'm not happy with Jordan Tyson, but in terms of favorite picks, if you want to sort of run us through your favorites from the first round to start with.
Yeah, we can run through the first round. We may as well start with Caleb Downs. Now, he's a safety. They traditionally, as good as they have been in the draft, they don't always go high. Derwin James fell to 17. He was a top 5 pick every day from a talent basis at 6'2", 6'3". Can even play corner at times. Can play everywhere on the field. Didn't go till 17. Kyle Hamilton, who's strongly seen and viewed as probably the best safety in football at the moment, didn't go till 14. Right? So these are guys who not only are very talented and can play everywhere, but are big. They're physical specimens. Now, Caleb Downs isn't. He's 6 foot at best. He's a good athlete, no doubt. But where he wins is his instincts in coverage are like nothing I've seen in a long time, especially being like we weren't here to watch Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu. And these guys come out in the draft. We got to see them play football in the pros, but we didn't get to see them come out as prospects. But as prospects, this guy can play everywhere. He can play in the box, up high, two zone. Like he can play everywhere, and he can even back at least man-to-man coverage. So Dallas got maybe highway robbery.
Yeah,
on
unfortunately, it's Dallas.
Yeah,
everyone's favorite team.
Yeah.
The Collingwood of the
NFL.
NFL.
Love him, hate him, right? So, look, this guy's going to change their defense. We'll get to teams as well, but Dallas is a really good job all over. So, but yeah, Caleb Downs were our favourites, and then bloody 3 picks later, they went and took Ruben Bain off the list at Tampa Bay, and obviously you and I being Saints fans, it wasn't my favourite thing I've ever seen. So Ruben Bain is look, he looks like a power rusher. He's obviously got the one outlier, which is the short arms, the T-Rex arms, but he, unlike somebody like Cassius Howe, who also has the same problem with the short arms, he has so many ways to win. Like, he has this. For anyone that hasn't seen it but still has the interest in it, you've got to see this guy bend around the corner. The
Yeah, I
bend
think
is at 270, 6'3". Like, the bend is outrageous, and the ability to flatten and get to the quarterback. For anyone that is watching kind of for the first time or watching pass rushes for the first time, the ability to turn the edge but actually flatten as close to a 90-degree angle, that's what's going to make a difference at the speed you can get to the quarterback. And this guy,
Yeah, I think
especially,
people need to appreciate Ruben Bain. Then there's a few videos out there where you see him flatten out, as you say, and to be able to bend the way he
270.
bends at two, it's hard to fathom in Australia what these guys can do because we don't have anyone like that.
They don't exist.
They don't exist in Australia.
No.
And it's yeah. So Ruben Bain, obviously, Tyler Shuck will be in a bit of trouble, unfortunately.
No. So Banks has got him covered.
Yeah.
No. Look, the other thing Ruben Bain has is the ability to bounce inside, right? I think we discussed, and this is probably, we're probably bouncing a bit from topic to topic, but this is why I thought he'd be a good fit in LA with the Rams as well. He's got the ability to bounce inside on kind of third down, and you can get your speed rushes or your NASCAR package for those in the weeds out there. And you could have had a combination of Verse, Young, and Ruben Bain all going with Braden Frisk on the inside. Like, it's pretty hard to defend. But yeah, for Tampa Bay to get in there is a steal of all steals.
Some
There's
other favourites.
some other
We've got Caleb Downs.
first round
Yeah, we'll go. You've got Caleb Downs and Ruben Bain. Any offensive players you love?
in the first round.
Yeah.
Look, there's probably a few more defensive players I loved in the first round. Look, it's no secret, I am a very big Jordan Tyson person.
Now, you need to, before you go any further, can you explain to me? I, again, was asking Sam, we watched the draft together, and I was asking Sam sort of, what's Jordan Tyson like? And can you give me the comparison you made?
I can give you the comparison, mate, but I want to at least give everyone a flat line of where this comparison was made as these two players coming out.
Yeah, no, I know. Not right now.
I don't want people to jump the gun, and the people have already heard my voice and clipped this. But to me, he's on the kind of player you look when you get a CD Lamb and a Justin Jefferson. They're these guys that can win all over the field. They create separation in their route running. They aren't necessarily the quickest. They don't run a 4.3. They still run well. They run a 4.4, mid 4.4s, but their ability to break and cut inside and outside and just snatch the ball out of the air. The ability to snatch the ball is, you'll see a difference. Some receivers let the ball come to them. The ability to actually snatch it and then start moving forward, that makes a difference, right? Like, if you, the windows quarterbacks have to throw into in the NFL are just not very big. So if you can make it slightly easier and catch as you're moving forward, get those yards after catch, or that yak as we call it, this guy is special in that. And the contestant catch ability is special, and he's 6'2". The only reason he doesn't go in the top 5, especially in this draft, when the talent maybe isn't blue star everywhere, is because of the injuries.
Yeah.
And look, we're not doctors, so I'm not scouting players on kind of their medicals. I can't. I can't do it. I don't have a medical degree. I've got to just do the player as the player comes. So this guy was our 8th ranked player. He went at 8. For me, this is the perfect player to play next to Chris Olave.
Yeah, it gets me excited for the Saints a bit this year. We've gone from not having much hope to sort of a lot of excitement about us, which is nice.
But if we talk Saints, we might sit here all day.
Yeah, we can move on from the Saints.
Look, there probably is. Look, Sonny Styles for me is the most perfect pick Washington could have asked for. They're
another alien.
Aliens.
There's a few aliens.
It's an understatement. Yeah, this guy's he's special. You can see even how he interviews, how he talks, how he speaks about the game. This is a CEO. This is a CEO of your defense. This guy's going to lead their defense. He's going to fill that middle linebacker spot and just get everyone right and correct. And man, he can fly.
Yeah.
Not only can he fly, he can cover in space. He comes downhill. He thumps. He's look, if he lived up to it, he's Fred Potter.
Wow.
Right? And that's why you draft him at 7.
Yeah.
Not many linebackers in the top 10. Not off-ball linebackers, right? So that's why you take him there. And then probably the last one in the top for first round, I should say, not for the top 32, but is a guy named Dylan Thielman. Now, most people probably do know him by now, but this guy is a bit different from Caleb Downs. You're not going to play him in the box. He's not going to thump as hard. He'll come down and try and hit, but this guy's your full free safety that's going to take away the ball and just give it back to your offense. And as we've stated, we're Saints supporters, so we've seen good safeties in the Dennis Allen system. Marcus Williams used to do it really well and just be long, cover sideline to sideline and take the ball away. And he's going to give it back to Caleb, and that offense is going to be heating up and loving Dylan Thielman, I'm sure.
Nice. I'm pretty excited about the Bears. I'm a huge Caleb Williams fan, as you talked about it, and yeah. Well, yeah. If he was a Saints guy, maybe. And I guess so. You've covered a few first round, second round. What do we? I know you like Denzel Boston a lot.
I might be the leader of the clubhouse in the Boston fan base. I just think it got to a point where he got underrated. Going into the season, I think he was probably seen by most people as like fourth wide receiver.
Yeah.
And he sat there for a lot of it. And then we got through the season, and for whatever reason, people started seeing, because he's 6'4", just believed he was this jump ball, big ball, body guys out, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, he does those things at an elite level. But his ability to actually work in short space, in short quickness, is unbelievable at 6'4". He tested his 3-cone drill out of this world for a guy at 6'4". He also has thrown screen passes by Washington. Now, if you can't be agile in space, your offense coordinator is not going to throw you screen balls. So this guy wins in every aspect of the game. He doesn't have burner speed, but he's got enough to make you like sit there and you've got to watch out for it. And then he puts on the brace and goes left, right, inside, out. It doesn't matter. And then he's got these massive mitts that he just catches the ball for days.
He's pretty jacked.
He's
a big guy.
6'4", 212.
Any others that you want to highlight, I guess, in the second round? A couple more? Or
You have to tell me off sometimes when we're talking about football, because I like talking about the big people, and you say, Sam, tell me who's catching the ball, who's stopping them catching the ball. But Caden McDonald going to Houston, I can't give perspective to everyone on how good this player is.
Wow.
He carried a first-round grade for us. He was equally our first-rated defensive tackle, smack on mark with Peter Woods. He's massive.
And going to a place that's defense is already loaded.
This is the thing. He's just going to fill gaps, fill holes. He's also got the ability to get pressure on the quarterback. And he's just going to make everyone's life around him easier. Will Anderson, if you've got a little bit of pocket change, get him for the sack number, at least for the sack number coming up this year.
We might have a few. Might have a special bit of a podcast where with best bets leading into the season.
We're
good at that.
Yeah,
you are.
We'll see what happens.
Another good thing to know about Sam is that I've made a few bucks in the draft over the years thanks to his picks. So more on that in another episode, I'm sure.
Great. But we'll get back to Caden McDonald.
Yeah.
So to give perspective to people who are football fans, he's Dexter Lawrence. Like, this is what you're looking at. You're looking at young Dexter Lawrence. He's going to do all the hard work and make your team so much better. So yeah, I love that pick, and it's funny because they're all back to back to back kind of thing. But there's kind of 2 or 3 others that I loved. Colton Hood to the Giants.
Yep.
Colton Hood was one of my favorites. He's got length. He's got the ability to cover in man. He's got the ability to cover in zone. I should probably be telling people all the positions. It's a cornerback from Tennessee.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
Yeah, I apologize. So I'll make sure I'll give you the positions as we're going. But yeah, so he's cornerback from Tennessee. Across from McCoy when obviously Jeremiah McCoy was playing. But yeah, just a really good corner. He doesn't have elite speed. He has enough speed, but he has really good hands in press man. He has the ability to follow in man. And as I've kind of discussed with you, I'm more of somebody who leans man-to-man corners over zone corners. I do
Marshawn
understand that.
Lattimore.
Yeah, correct. I do understand that zone is played predominantly in football at the moment, but I need somebody who on third down I can say you got him, and we'll figure everything else out. And Colton Hood gives me aspects of that.
Nice.
Green Bay making their first pick in the second round, obviously with the trade for Micah, but for them to get Brandon Cisse, who was our fourth corner at 52, I believe, or roughly in that area, this guy's going to be really good. I loved him in the slot. Like I really thought as a slot corner, as a bigger corner, he projects really well in there, but he can play outside of man. It does give me a little bit of inkling of Alontae Taylor a little bit at times. But yeah, I just really like that pick for Green Bay. He fits their measurables. He's 6'4", he can cover in man, covers in zone, gets up in your face, happy to kind of mix in the run game as well. And then the last one is one of my probably darlings of the whole draft, which was Anthony Hill Jr.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the linebacker coming out of Texas, 6'3", 235, 240, kind of a really good size for a linebacker. But it's not only his play on the field, he is more of a coverage linebacker at first. He's probably the bit he's maybe not as strong in is the ability to actually come downhill and kind of always tackle in space. But tackle downhill. But his ability in the pass game is second to none in this draft. And I really, really like the player. But for him to land with Robert Saleh, who is known for turning linebackers off the street into good. He took Quincy Williams off the street as a free agent that had been cut, and he turned him into an all-pro. Like, he can do that, and with a talent like this, he's going to treat him like he's Fred Warner. Whether he becomes Fred Warner or not, I'm not sure. But if I was going to, once again, sink a bit of money into it, I would almost put my money on the fact that this guy will be and go to pro balls, I would say.
Nice. How soon? Is he development? Is he ready to go?
Oh, he'll start at middle linebacker, or at worst, at will linebacker for them. Let's say year 3 at the latest. I'd say there's going to be a lot on his shoulders early, but that's how Robert Saleh likes to develop his players. So
chuck him in the deep end and
I
take it swim. Why not?
Yeah, and look, I could be completely wrong, but I think this one's seriously good player. I would have taken him in the first round.
Really? I guess we won't go through every round, but any few picks here and there around the later rounds that you think, whoa, like I had them a lot higher.
Yeah, well, we're in the third round, but so there was AJ Halsey, who is a safety who is going to be a tone setter. Indianapolis did a really good job in this draft with a team without a first round pick. They spent on Sauce, but he's a tone setter. He can cover. He played a little bit more out of the slot this year, and I think he's better as an actual true safety. Takes away the ball, has great hands, but I love that pick in the third round. Big left guard, Emmanuel Pregnon from Oregon. I think I said to you, I love this guy, and if somebody wanted to go guard, I'd be taking this guy every day.
Yeah, you did. I reckon in our mock draft, we had him like first round to Houston, I reckon.
Yep, I reckon you're on the money.
Yeah.
Because it was a perfect fit. It was hand and glove fit. But he fell to the third round. And look, as we said, we're not over there. I don't know the medicals. I don't know the interview process. I know he is an older prospect. Similar to Akeem Messidor, who went in the first round. He is a 25-year-old prospect, I believe. And that might have pushed him down the draft. But I'm getting a bit sick about this age conversation. Let's just draft him. If he's a good football player, we'll figure that out in 4 years. He'll still be 29.
I'm with you.
He's not growing wrinkles on his head.
Exactly.
He'll be fine. But
he's 25, not 35.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And for a really good football player in what was a very average draft by Jacksonville, they nailed that one. Fourth round, there's a bunch of players that we love, but we probably need to touch on the Jamon McCoy.
Yes, well, we have him high.
9.
Yes. And
he went 101.
I did keep messaging our group chat saying, like, why is Jamon McCoy still there? I remember I was out, and then I looked at the end of the second round, why is Jamon McCoy still there? Why is he still there? And then no one could sort of tell me, and then the injuries. And
once again.
I understand there's injuries, but like, how bad were the injuries? Firstly, not that bad.
They must have been.
They must have
shocking,
been
right?
like Will Johnson.
Yeah, well, we don't have to start that again. This is 2 years in a row. I know. I had a mental breakdown last year
Yeah,
when Will wasn't the same, but that's all right. We'll talk about that another day. But yeah, I just look, these kind of injuries, knees that are degenerative, scare teams.
Yeah.
I get it.
Is it degenerative?
Well, apparently.
Yeah.
I told you, I'm not a doctor. How many times have I got to tell you?
Well, you read a lot of reports. You know, you read a lot of reports.
But this guy's the best man corner in the draft.
Yeah.
Mansell Delaney is the best corner in the draft for
Yeah.
us, but this guy's the best man-to-man cover corner.
And we love those players.
We love those guys. And this guy knows it too.
Yeah, I
This
like
guy
that.
knows it too. And he'll bait you into throws. He'll pick it off. He'll take it 100 yards, and he'll look you dead in the eye and say, "You suck." He'll just go, "You're mine, and you're mine all day."
So he's not bad to go to. He's fits in well with the old Oakland Raiders. Then,
well, look, he goes to Raiders, and the Raiders have a chance to have absolutely nailed this draft if he's fit.
Yeah,
if he's fit, if you're only getting for 4 years, one of those years he might be a Pro Bowl corner that you're paying for, I don't know, 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
20 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, look, I just love that pick. And then who else in the fourth? Oh, we had a bunch of corners go in the fourth round that I loved.
Yeah, you did actually.
So, it was Devin Moore who went to Dallas. This guy's a long. What they will be interesting is that he's 6'3", he's a really good football player. He's a bit developmental, but he covers guys. That's what he does. He covers really well. Malik Muhammad, who I really like out of Texas as well. He's another really good football player. Texas had a lot of good football players on that roster, but another one in that mold of cover corners.
For the listeners out there, where did he go? Or team?
Texas.
Okay. No, yeah, he was at Texas. Did he go?
Oh,
Where did he get drafted to?
Malik Muhammad went to no, didn't he? Went to Chicago.
Yeah, thank you.
Went to Chicago. And that's another one that's going to sit with Dennis Allen. He's part of that makeup that Dennis Allen likes. So it's man to man.
Dennis Allen, great defensive coordinator. Shit, a head coach.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
But we can't leave. One of my favorite players in the whole draft, Keontae Scott. Where's he go? Tampa Bay. I'm sick of it. This guy, for once again, we're referencing a few Saints players here, but this guy's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
I
know you do. This is him. This guy's going to walk, get up, shit talk everyone, tell them that, and he's the man, and he is going to play in the slot, and he's going to knock the snot out of blokes. He's just a fun watch, man. He's just a really fun watch.
I'm looking forward to watching. I have a soft spot for Chicago. They have great uniforms. I like Caleb Williams. I like what they do. And I'll be looking forward to watching him because
he's one
of my favorites.
Keontae Scott's Tampa Bay.
Oh, I thought you said Chicago.
Don't worry, you watch him at Tampa.
Oh, yeah, beauty. Well, I won't like him then. And then I want to touch on the seventh round.
Yep.
Because there's a quarterback out of LSU that, a couple of years ago was projected to go pretty high.
Like number one?
Yeah. And we always talked about it because he's old man with the Saints and, how high he's going to go and things like that. And then he falls and he falls and he falls. And then throughout the season, he goes from a top 5 pick to who knows where. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Garrett Nussmeier going to the Chiefs?
Yeah, look.
Have they struck gold with him? Is he
he's definitely not a 7th round pick. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
He's our 3rd quarterback, and then there was a chasm.
Yeah.
There was a massive difference between pick 3 and the 4th quarterback on our list. The fact that Carson Beck has gone at the first pick of the 3rd round, and this guy's gone at 228 round 7 is mind-boggling.
I think we had Carson Beck at 6th favorite.
Not on top 10.
Yeah, no, he was on our top 10. Carson Beck. Yes, he was. Yeah, I promise.
All right, I'll take your word. I'll take your word. I'll take your word on my list.
Not in the top 10 was that dickhead Diego Pavia, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, don't worry about Jared.
He's not on our list. Carson Beck, I think, was sick.
That's because Harvey, my 3-year-old son, could throw further.
Yeah.
No, look.
I'm going to check this live with the,
Yeah, right. You
going.
check that. But no, Garrett Nussmeier is he's the point guard of your quarterback types. Look, he's a bit undersized. I think he's 6'1.5". Really good football player. He's going to make everyone around him better. He's a coach's son. He's an offensive coach's son. Where was he?
What number is Carson Beck?
6.
Yes, 6. So I do listen to you, you know.
You listen to me better than I listen to me.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, back to...
No, but he's going to be able to pick up the offense perfectly in Kansas City. And I think the thing they're going to like is obviously Patrick's injured at the moment. And he's going to be able to slide in and pick up that offensive system. Look, Justin Fields might play those games whilst Mahomes is out, which is fine. There's a bit more upside there from a physical traits point of view. However, this guy will be Mahomes' backup for 2 or 3 years on a cheap deal. If he has to play, he'll play well, and he'll get the whole system. If I was going to guess, he's going to get a chance to start as kind of like a bridge quarterback, and I'd say someone would trade for him. Might be a 3rd rounder, but if Kansas City have looked forward, turned a 7th round pick into a 3rd round pick,
yeah,
value, right? So no, that was it, and there was actually another bloke in the 7th round, VJ Payne, out of Kansas State, who went to the Jets. He's another one in this mold of this hybrid nickel that's becoming kind of widespread. Everyone's calling him and worry.
Yeah.
Fly onto our screens and then have an amazing playoff series for the Seattle Seahawks. But yeah, he's in that vein. He's 6'2". He's obviously not as athletic. That's why he went the 7th and not the 2nd round. But he's got this ability to play on tight ends, play out of the slot, play a bit of safety, uses that kind of nickel linebacker kind of position. So for the Jets to get him in the 7th round, I think that's really a really nice pick too.
The Jets have they've been a bit unjet-like with their draft teams, because we'll go through some favourite teams, and in the coming weeks we will go further into teams. We'll go through each division and break that down a bit more. Today's a bit more of an overview, but I guess we've gone through favourite picks, least favourite picks. So
do we want to go back to front or front to back? Where do you want me to start?
You got to start with You got to start with the big ones that you think, why did they go in the first round? So hit us with your least favorite pick.
I don't want to, because this poor guy has been fucking ripped through the ringer. Like, we'll start with Ty Simpson, and I want to be the first to say this is not I don't think the player's worth round pick.
No, you rate him, and so you had him at your number 2.
Yeah, and easily,
like, good player. Yep. But you're the expert. You know more about this sport than I know. Anyone knows about a single sport. But why do the Rams take him there? It's more about a position, and it's more about a need than the actual player, isn't it?
I don't even know if it's about need. I think look, they lucked out a bit, right? Atlanta traded up from the 2nd round last year. For whatever reason, decided they had to give up a first to go get JPJ, which no one understands why they gave up so much. And I think they sat there and they saw the risk and opportunity. They said, look, they probably have the best roster in football. That's the irony with all of it. Even with the Ty Simpson pick, they've still got the best roster in football. So I think they probably saw an opportunity and said, we're not going to pick at 13 very often. Can we get our quarterback now for the future? Let's just do it. I get the process, but at the same time, I cannot like the process.
Yep.
Because for me, if that was the process, then, and we're kind of future-proofing ourselves, then going to get Trent McDuffie for your other first-round pick, they collide as ideals, like as an identity.
Yeah, are you going all in?
McDuffie is all in.
Oh, you know.
And I loved it. McDuffie's an awesome football player. He's probably a top 5 corner in football. Go and get your man. They did it with Jalen Ramsey. They won a Super Bowl that way. They went to a Super Bowl. But they've done the same thing here, and I really loved it. But I mentioned earlier, at pick 13, Ruben staring you in the eyes.
Yeah.
Just staring you in the eyes, and yes, you have pass rushers already. You have good defensive linemen. But if you can just send waves like a game of ice hockey, it's going to be really hard to defend. And I just look, a lot of people would have liked to see Mackay Lemon go there. Probably not the biggest. I like Mackay Lemon. For me, he wasn't a top 15 kind of guy, but I just thought they had different options on how to build this roster. But in saying that, he's fallen to the Rams and he's going to make us all look stupid.
Yeah, because he's going to.
McVay's going to dust a bit of magic on him, and he's going to be. They'll make this work.
He's going to sit behind Stafford, who we rate very highly. You told me about Stafford a long time ago, and since then, I watch Stafford and marvel at how good he is.
Everyone should marvel at how good he is.
And so maybe it is. Maybe it is future proofing. How old is Stafford now? 38.
38, maybe.
A couple of years there. He sits up behind him. He learns from him. He learns from McVay, and
But this is the problem. But the guy's only played a year of starting football.
Yeah,
so he's going to sit back and not play football again, right?
Because it's not like I'll reference AFL football here. There's no VFL.
No.
If you don't play, you're not playing.
No, he gets to go and pretend to be another quarterback. So his defense can practice.
Can you explain that? Because it's wild to someone that doesn't know the game well about what they do in that sense.
So they don't have VFL. They don't have seconds. They just practice and play, or you just practice, right? But when, say, we'll use LA as an example, when they play San Francisco, their defense has to go out on the field, right? And they've got somebody's got to play quarterback. So Ty Simpson is more than likely going to be pretending to be Brock Purdy.
Yeah, that's just hilarious. He's pretending to be other quarterbacks.
Yeah, and that's his practice.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a hard process. And if you haven't...
Yeah.
One thing, when Mahomes, for example, came out and sat behind Alex Smith for a year, Mahomes had played 3 years of football.
Yeah.
Right? They've played football. So to have a year off and just develop and learn, it's fine. I just worry with guys like this. I worried with Trey Lance. I think I told you... How quickly did I tell you this guy can't go in the top 3 rounds?
Instantly. Well, very quickly. And San Fran could have got...
Who did I tell them to take? Mac Attack.
Oh,
Mac Jones, to me, he's proved it this year, right? Yeah. He's a perfect fit for Kyle Shanahan. They shouldn't have traded all the picks they did anyhow. But
what did you call Trey Lance's throw?
He's duck wobblers.
Oh, duck wobblers. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've learned over the time from listening to a bit of Chris Sims. But he throws duck wobblers, knuckleballs, whatever you want to call it. They were never tight spirals. Look, Ty Simpson doesn't have that problem, but that's what happens when you don't get out there and play football. So, look, I like Ty Simpson. The landing spot's great. Good footballer. I just, as a fan of Matt Stafford, I wish they went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Others? I hate the Caden Proctor pick.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
It makes me angry. You trade out of Taylor Downs. You take Caden Proctor, who has all the physical traits. He's huge. He's got massive arms. Sorry, offensive tackle.
Explain where he went.
Offensive tackle from Alabama. These guys go in the first round. They do go. But Miami are no good. The roster is no good. Just take the best football player. Yeah. You could have taken Caleb or Ruben Bain or Victor Owane, and you take Caleb Proctor. Actually, even if you're going to go tackle, Munro Freeling, who I loved, who is a similar size, but to me a much further along developed football player, I would take that. Look, Caleb Proctor has talent, but there was just some of our favourite players on the board. So I just didn't see the value there. The other two in the first round that weren't our favour was probably KC Concepcion, who, ironically, if you'd flipped Denzel Boston and KC Concepcion, I love both the picks.
Yeah.
Because Denzel Boston, to me, is the true X, is the true number one, and KC Concepcion's that gadget guy, the slot wide receiver. He's going to make everyone's life a little bit easier. But I don't love him at 24. We had him at wide receiver 10.
10, yeah.
So, still a good football player. And we still had a second round grade on him. Like, I don't want to make that sound like we didn't like him, but not there. Like, if they were going to take that player, for us, Omar Cooper Jr., who went at 30 at the Jets, he was our fourth wide receiver. Mm-hmm. So I just didn't love the pick. And then the Keldrick Fork pick is one that I get it. This is a 20-year-old prospect, a 21-year-old prospect. He's massive and he's a really good run defender, but you're going to have to wait on the development of the player as a pass rusher. And whether it happens or not, I'm not sure, but probably not what I would have done with that pick.
Mhm.
If I wouldn't have come up if I was Tennessee. I probably would have just sat, and if it was there, there's probably a few others. I don't really have picks I don't like in the 4th and 5th round.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
a
think
bit of
at
a
that stage
shot.
it's a bit of a shot, and you can't hate it. I will ask you about one that surprised us on draft day. You yelled.
Did I?
Yeah, well, we were shocked about it. Carnell Tate going 4.
I did, and it was an overreaction to
Okay.
say the least. I really like I really like the football player. I've been on record saying I think he's a 1B, not in a bad way. But
4 is high for a receiver.
it was high, but when you look at what they need to do, is they need to give Cam Ward the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they believe he's the most ready and best wide receiver, and they want to take him at 4, and Jeremiah Love went off the board, I can understand the process. It just surprised me. I just didn't think he was going to go at 4 because Arvell Reese is there.
Robert Saleh likes his linebackers.
Sunny Styles, right? But this is the thing, right? Is when we look at the draft and we package the picks as groups, they now get Tate plus Anthony Hill Jr.
Yeah, I see.
Right? If I flip that, they get Sunny Styles and Malachi Fields. Maybe at that back
that's a
end.
good point. Yeah,
and that combo just doesn't sit as well as the other. So if you look at them as a grouping, the surprise is worn off, and he's a really good fit in that system. I probably still don't make that pick, but I like it.
It doesn't fall into the bad pick.
Correct.
As the draft progressed, it made more sense because they got their man, like you said, with Anthony Hill Jr. And yeah,
Can I give you a bad pick?
Yes, please.
Nate Burketcher by the Jaguars, picking a tight end at 52 who on our board was 220 maybe. And that's, you guys are all hearing us for the first time. And obviously you're going to have to listen over time and start to trust me in my thoughts. But to give you like an idea, somebody like Todd McShay, who I trust a lot and whose opinions the industry trusts a lot, had him at 260.
Yeah.
He went at 54 as the 3rd tight end in the draft.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Is that your least favorite of the whole draft?
It's the biggest distance.
Yeah, gotcha.
From our board to where he was drafted, it's the biggest difference between where a player went and where we had that player on our big board.
I think we'll get into teams that we love in future episodes because we've been going. Our man behind the cameras said about 45 minutes.
On the shoulder, has he?
It's literally felt like 5.
Yeah,
and I was thinking probably need a timer for this because we could talk all night. But we all have real jobs. And so the man behind the camera, Jack, who has made all this go, has just gone. It's 45 minutes. So I think maybe to wrap up, there is a big story, I guess, that we wanted to talk about in terms of a player who has had off-field issues when it comes to gambling, and
that player.
Yeah, and I think we should talk about it because Brandon Sorsby. Brandon.
Yep.
I wrote Brendan on my sheet down there, but that's okay. Brandon Sorsby.
American.
I've been reading up a lot about him in terms of, being charged, well, not charged, but, gambling a lot, betting on his own team, betting on games he's involved in, 1,000+ bets. But I think what we spoke about.
Maybe we should have him on for our bets.
Yeah.
He might help.
He'll have some locks.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to talk about briefly is that you're the man that watches the tape. And I just wanted to talk more about him in terms of the tape that you've watched.
Yeah, well, thankfully you gave me a little warning today, so that was good. I'd watched a little bit of Brandon Sorsby because there was a point in time where he was considering coming into this draft. Yeah, well, let's start with the good, right? He's in good size, 6'3.5", 6'4", really good size for quarterback. He moves really well. He's a good runner. He's good in the pocket. He knows when to slide, when to come up to throw, but also when to go out kind of the back door and kind of go on a running lane. As a thrower, as a passer, he's got this really easy ability to just flick the wrist and get the ball on time, on target. And the ability to throw the ball downfield as well it's easy. He's an easy thrower of the ball. We kind of talk about natural throwers of the ball and then athletes who play quarterback. This guy's a pretty natural thrower of the ball. The accuracy comes in and out. It's something Quinn Ewers actually used to do a little bit. I think this guy's more talented than him, but he's got this awesome little flick when he flicks the ball, but he tries to just kind of place balls. When he comes out the backside and he throws on the run and he has to put mustard on this ball, it just is zip and it gets there right on time, on target. So I think you just got to get away from trying to kind of place all balls and a couple just throw. But as a prospect, he would have been our second quarterback in this draft now. I would have had him over Ty Simpson.
Really?
Based on physical traits.
Yeah.
I think Ty Simpson's a better player of the quarterback position at the moment. The best way I could say it is I think right now Brandon Sorsby has top 15 talent.
Wow.
But the film is probably still third roundish.
And he could have played, if he's without all the issues, he could have played college for a whole year, another year.
Yeah, he transferred to Texas Tech. He would have gone into that kind of system there. Would have put up numbers for sure. Everyone does. He would have put up numbers, and I would probably have guessed he would have. Let's be nice about it. Say he would have ended up being a top 20 pick.
Wow! But now all the off-field issues, and there are a lot.
Yeah.
Will anyone take a gamble on him at the supplementary draft?
Right. First of all,
we'll
do a quick run on the supplementary draft.
He taught me about 45 minutes ago.
This is the funniest system known to mankind. Anyhow, the NFL send out an email in June, I believe, or start of July, and they say the supplementary draft is open. Every team has a chance to literally send an email back saying, yeah, we're going to put a third round or a second round pick of ours. Now, what that means is if you nominate a second round pick, if you win him in the supplementary draft, like it's a blind auction.
Yeah, it's blind. So you don't know who's bid what.
Correct. Then you have to give up your second round pick in next year's draft. So you just wouldn't have a 2027 second round pick in this instance. So, look, I think he's going to have to go in the supplementary draft. I don't think the NCAA is going to let a player who's known for gambling go back into college. It just opens too many doors. So I think he's going to have to come out in that system. The NFL will probably give him some form of a suspension anyhow. He's not ready to play for the first however many weeks anyhow. So I wouldn't about that. But
who's taking him? If you give me like 3 potentials, and we can come back to this if he gets picked up and see how you went.
All right. Pittsburgh are having a swing.
Yep.
Pittsburgh have a swing. Arizona should. I don't know if they will. The Jets sit in a similar boat. Yeah, look, I think the Jets probably have a swing. Arizona takes a swing. Pittsburgh definitely. Is there anybody else that I think? Minnesota might.
Really?
Well, quarterback engine there. He develops quarterbacks really well. So that one wouldn't surprise me. But somebody's going to take a swing at this guy. If I was going to guess, it'll be a third rounder. I don't think anyone spends a first or a second, even though it's so enticing a talent.
Yeah, with all those issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it was just a reason of age and he couldn't go back to college or something like that, maybe somebody spends a second or a first, but not.
How old is he?
You're testing me. 23, 22.
Yeah.
Like he's normal college age.
Yeah, gotcha.
He's not old or young prospect, I don't believe. So.
All right. Well, we've been talking for, I don't know, close to an hour, I reckon, and it's flown by. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been fun.
We will be back here every week in in our studio. I will say to Cindy and David Veal, thank you for allowing us into your, well, Max, I call it Max's man cave to film this. Cindy is my auntie. I call her Dee Dee, and Jack behind the screen's mum and Sam's mother-in-law, and she will love nothing more than to see us three here
to hear
every
her
week.
name on camera.
Yeah, well, that too. I'm getting in her good books because we're in the house,
That's
you know.
fickle.
But yeah, so the plan is that we're going to come back and talk more in depth about the draft in the next, month,
Yep.
leading into the season. And then during the season, we'll be talking more about, the roster building side of things and, seeing how these rookies that are going. Throwing in, we're all fantasy diehards, so throwing in a bit of fantasy stuff for anyone that plays Dynasty, maybe talking about some, rookies for the future, things like that for your Dynasty if you're doing those drafts, and throwing a little sprinkle of betting and just have a bit of fun every Monday night.
Yep, that's where we'll be, and yeah, we'll start. We'll put something out on the socials in the next few days, but we're going to go division by division for the breakdowns. So we'll spend a good hour on each division, which will lead us kind of almost into kind of training camp time, and then we get to start kind of deep diving those rosters.
And when we get division per division, and then you'll see this really get deep nerdy stuff, and I fucking love it. And I don't know that much about the sport, so you'll get to see the man in full swing. I think today was a great introduction to this, what we're looking to do, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun. Thank you to our man behind the screens in Jack for making this work. And yeah, I look forward to doing this every week with you guys. And I think if you have a listen to this, give us a follow on at the Draft Route on Instagram. We're going to put some clips up, start TikToking, whatever that is.
Be on the talk, like the young kids.
I'll be the young kids on the talk. I think this is going to be on Spotify and YouTube as well.
Yep.
So yeah, just give us a follow. Listen to a couple of blokes talking about
Join
football.
us on the journey.
Join us on the journey, and hopefully, if anything, we're going to have a lot of fun doing it, and hopefully on to bigger and better things. But it was nice to sit down with you, mate.
Thanks, host.
And we'll, anyway, guys, I reckon this went pretty well. So we'll leave it there. Have a good week, and we'll see you all soon.
See you next week. See you guys.